All right, y'all, we are back in the chat again. Let's try to get some ETS in. Right. Welcome everybody back to the channel. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, boy. This thing is tearing my ear up. All right. This thing jumping off. We got about 318 people in now. I mean, 358 I meant. I'm not going in the Euro server because there's just too many folks. My apologies. I'm trying to refuel myself. Yep, trying to refuel myself. I'm gonna hit my mic, close my mic. There's my beauty, my Scania. Go ahead and make sure I'm logged in this boy. Let's see. I had to put my old stuff back in. Oop, wrong. This is as far as y'all gonna be able to see because y'all don't know my password, so I'm not worried about that. So, I mean, this is mainly for those that don't know how to do it. You know, get in your little World of Truck. So, okay, that was my profile. Everybody has a profile. This is me, yours truly. Got 273 jobs done. Road total distance 78,501. So I got a huge track record. So you know. Far from a novice. I've been playing ETS for a long time. Make sure my chat is up still. Like I lost connection somewhere. Okay, we still up. All of a sudden you just lost something. I don't know what it was doing. But was already working, so, and this is technically all my pictures, all my trucks, all my stuff. So, and then I got multiple stuff for me doing their little holiday stuff, you know. That's one truck right there, and that's my other truck. You know, and that's, I mean, outside of anything else, I mean, is memories, because you know, if you can't keep the mod in the game, and you got to start all over every time you start, it's bad. Can't even keep your same trucks. I mean, you know, so you browse. So we should have a nice little trader. See, we got traders right here. This is 10 hours right here. We got another one 7 hours. So like I might have to get one of those. I might be able to get one shorter than that. I'm gonna get this 3 hours when starting out. You got a couple 3 hours right here. You can use those to your advantage. I am definitely gonna be taking one of these. So here I go. And I am also in the US server. If you decide to want to come and join me, you know, because I know everybody's pretty much doing the event. And this might be the day I actually finish it up. My beautiful Scania. Yeah. 8x4. Business. Okay. See where we're going. 3 hours, 38 minutes. Racing owners going to Frankfurt. Traders. Right. Map up. Drop that off, so not too long ago we dropped off the load, so I kind of got confused. I always take it. Have us going through some unbelievable stuff. Right, we got some ETS in. Get some ETS in. Set this charter. There's a couple of people already around me already. Scrolled off for a minute anyway because I'm in the service. I don't want to problems. I think I'll roll by myself. Had time for static.
out by Costa-Curta and Baresi, you kind of think, oh, cheers, thanks. Oh, thank you, you just keep it as well. Oh, nice one. And then Maldini, you go over to Maldini just so as you can probably see if you can get a picture somewhere along the line with it. But no, it was to play against them. You can see defensively, you talk about how brilliantly they were defensively. And Desai was there holding midfielder as well. It was stringent and tight. Every touch had to be perfect. It had to be right, and that's when you realise that I'm playing amongst the top players here.
And for all your point, Real Madrid are still the Champions League holders, and they still have Ramos, Varane, Modric, Toni Kroos, Benzema, Casemiro. They still have world-renowned football.
They do, and they have strength in depth. But Liverpool's strength, I'm just looking at Liverpool's strength this season, and that has been their ability to blow teams away, so they don't have to think about reputation. You know, you have to look at the goals they've conceded, Real Madrid, this season, and I think Liverpool can only beat themselves. They don't have to think too much about reputations and opposition. Go out and play your game, they'll win.
Chris, they are going for their third on the spin.
I know, but they're getting older.
Yeah, they are getting older, but this is something that
they're creaking.
Give them the drive. They're creaking. It's up to Liverpool to make them break. I think that Liverpool are the team. Liverpool could be the team that break them, but we can't ignore the fact that Real Madrid are going for a third one in the current climate. Like Rory said, they're not even done brilliantly in their own league. You know, Barcelona, like Rory said, are still the team that we will remember from this era, and they're going to try and win it 3 times on the spin. So just shows what Barcelona done. But this team are they're not going to be any bishops in respect of you're saying the blast away. This is going to be a real competition for them.
But Liverpool have to make Real Madrid afraid. That's what Liverpool's big weapon is. Real will be looking at that front three and thinking, Marcelo's not brilliant defensively anymore, if he ever was. Ramos and Varane actually quite a good central defensive duo. Dani Carvajal's been injured. Casemiro always has a huge amount of work to do because Kroos and Modric aren't going to do it themselves. Liverpool have to, early on, I think, remind Real Madrid that they can come forward all they like, but if they misplace a pass, if they miss time an attack, Liverpool will go at them, and that's the way Liverpool will have to play. But to be honest, they don't have a choice because Liverpool can't play in any other way. It's not like they're not a Conte team or a Mourinho team or a Guardiola team who can set up and think, right, we can change what we do. Liverpool have to be Liverpool, otherwise they will lose.
And chances have to be taken when created. They can't. Oh, that's an unbelievable chance. Mane, someone like Mane, you can be so hit and miss sometimes with his chances. I think that if they get these chances, they have to take them, because at some stage Real Madrid will get their chances, and someone like Ronaldo is only waiting for one chance. That's what he's waiting for.
Do you think though the journey of both? It's so X Factor, isn't it? But the journey of both fullbacks in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson, do you think that will give them no fear going into the game against Ronaldo, or is that a cliche?
No, but the fact is that both of them should be looking forward to that challenge, because when you look at where Trent Alexander and Andy Robertson have come from, for them to be on that stage, they've got to look at it and say, I am here for hard work, determined, and now I'm here on the stage. All of a sudden, just going to start, let them just take the mickey out of me. I believe that someone like Trent Alexander, I know it's very hard to compare them, but I watched him against Wilfred Zaha, who gave him chasing for the first half at Crystal Palace, and second half he sorted himself out, got it going. I think a week after, or not long after, he had to play against Sane, and he totally controlled him. And it's a situation where the levels, this is why I'm so delighted that he got into the England side, the levels that he's gone to, and he's had to go up them, he's gone to them, and he's kicked again. So I don't think that whoever he's playing against, he's going to be overawed by them because of just the way he is and the exuberance. And the same with Andy Robertson. I don't think they're going to be overawed by what's going to happen. They're just going to deal with that. Them two, I've put so much faith in.
There's an element of psychological trickery about the right back thing, because Ronaldo, we're not entirely sure how Real will line up, because they might play Ronaldo through the middle and drop Benzema. Well, but Benzema was probably the best player in his Bayern in the second leg, and he's still one of the best strikers in the world, so they could sort of say, right, we'll have those two.
He's not where he was.
And you play Isco, you play Asensio, who's been excellent. Zidane loves Lucas Vazquez because he works really hard, so they have choices. I think if you look at what happened against both Roma and City, they both identified Trent Alexander-Arnold as the weak link. As Righty says, City got that wrong because he played brilliantly against Sane. In the second leg in Rome, he was a little bit shaky in the second half, Trent, and that's because Roma were overloaded. How he stands up to almost the psychological test of Ronaldo, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is quicker than Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is not the player he was. He's still an extraordinary footballer. But you almost have to play what he's become and not be tempted to play what he used to be, because he's not going to. Ronaldo's not really going to burn past you anymore.
But he's learned quickly.
He's been more efficient in the box, but that's what he would be. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about with the one chance. Because he's not going to get the ball, do his stuff, and not pass and do all that. He's not doing that. He's in the box to get that one chance to finish, and that's what probably.
Let's move on to talk from the right back to the left back. Robertson was at Queen's Park in the 4th tier of Scottish football just 5 years ago. Former Celtic fullback Jackie McNamara gave him his break when he managed Dundee United. We can talk to Jackie now. Evening. Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for talking to us. What did you spot in him when you watched him before you signed him for Dundee United?
I think just his desire more than anything. He's always played the front foot, moves defending and attacking, and I think the same traits that you see now. Obviously he's moved up quite a few levels since then, but you know, still the same determination, desire to want to be involved in everything, but it's defending and attacking. You know, it's not a surprise to me to see him where he is just now.
What did you have to improve when you coached him, in him?
I think the first bits were obviously positioning. You know, I think positioning was coming from that, the lower divisions, playing amateur in the Premier League. It was, obviously it's a step, but I mean, you handled everything, they listened and you know, I think when he first came into us, a surprise. When he first came in, how he adapted quickly. I think it was the same when he went to Hull, he stayed Bruce, how quickly he adapted the Premier League to Hull. And again, since he's not even got a chance at Liverpool, you know, I think each manager has been surprised how quickly he's adapted and taken it in his stride.
Do you think a part of what he has wanted to do is take it one step at a time, or do you, i.e. slowly progress, you know, and the progression has been quite clear, hasn't it? I suppose Queen's Park, Dundee United and Hull and then Liverpool, or do you partly think, Jackie, that they were just the only options available to him at the time that he moved?
No, I think he had options. He had options when he was at Dundee United. A few clubs interested, and a few managers come to see him. But I think, well, listen to right, he's speaking there about, you know, that taking in players and don't think about it, or be nervous about the game. I don't think that he actually thinks about, you know, the pressures or anything. He just enjoys playing. He just gets on with it. You know, no matter who he's up against. Same in training. Every day in training he was exactly the same. When he trained, I think it was his last training session. As I said, it's no surprise to me. I knew he would kick on from Hull. I knew Hull would be a stepping stone.
Did you always think he'd have the temperament, Jackie?
Yeah, I did. He's got that little bit of devil you need, Chris.
oh, Jackie, we know with him, he has the devil.
Yeah, he's got that. Said about being playing the good players, like winning the 5-a-side game, and then training to the Saturday. You know, it's still the same. I think you can tell you work with players when you play with players. You know, Andy was always going to be one of the ones that's going to kick on.
Does part of that come from the fact that he had to wait for his chance, and that obviously he had that early rejection from Celtic? Did that shine through when you were working with him?
Yeah, again, I think like most players or kids, you know, I think we've all suffered bits of rejection going through football at different stages. You either go one way or another. You know, either take it there and, you know, you want to prove people wrong. You know, and he still talks about there, and you hear him talking about his career, how it was set up and how he was too small, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. You know, the best players in the world are not the tallest. Again, being a fullback, but he's adjusted well to that. You know, he's got a lot stronger in that position with the defensive side of it, using his body better. So, you know, I don't see any problems or weaknesses now in his game. And
did he hit the ground running with you? Because I'm fairly sure that he took a little bit of time to find his feet at Hull, and obviously he was introduced quite slowly by Jurgen Klopp. Did he hit the ground running with you, or did it take a little bit of time there as well?
No, he had the ground.
Right, did he?
The first day of pre-season, he came in to the kids' dressing room on the first team. The Dundee United so to put back in the first team dressing room. So, you know, it was like pre-season, he played against German opposition and he stood out. You know, he really done well over there. And, you know, I didn't think he would take a bit of time to adjust and maybe, you know, bring in 1 or 2 games, but he was straight into the team in the first game of the season, and you know we lost him at the end of that season to Hull, so it was just it was a good year with him.
Jackie, thank you very much for coming on, appreciate it. Jackie McNamara, who was in charge of Dundee United when they signed Andrew Robertson. He is the kind of player that people gravitate to as regards fans, don't they, Roy? Particularly ones that go and watch their club a lot, because he's come through the different levels. He had to fight to even get going at the start of his career, and people respond. Football fans tend to respond more to those types of players.
Yeah, I did a piece on Mo Salah, as every other world has done, a few weeks ago, and I was speaking to a Liverpool fan, and they said that Salah's the sort of player you love because he just seems out of this world, and that makes sense. You know, he's this sort of superhero in a Liverpool kit, but that Robertson is one who resonates more with you because you see yourself in him. He is, without being too cheesy about it, he's kind of the comic book version of the fan who ends up on the pitch, and he plays in that way. It's not just his backstory, which is rejected by Celtic. There was a tweet that came out of his that he was talking about needing a job 5 or 6 years ago, and this is a kid who, you know, 5 or 6 years ago was thinking, I need to get a job, and is now in the Champions League final. So there's a dreamlike element of that. But there's the style with which he plays, and I remember in City in the first leg, a 90-yard press, and it was. I remember about 70 minutes in, and initially you think, my God, he must be exhausted. But the other one is that obviously that the fans respond to that, because that's what they like to think that they'd do if they were on the pitch.
He's the example to all 18-year-olds who get released why they should carry on and give it a go, because he's had so many knockbacks and he's picked himself up, dusted himself down, and this is all through sheer hard work. And even in the last 12 months, I think if he had an area where he was suspect, it was defensively. I think he is improved. He has improved defensively and will keep on improving, and that's down to his attitude.
I'm hopefully this question doesn't embarrass you, Ian, but do you think your popularity was A, down to, well, it's partly down to your hard work and also the path you took to get to the top,
and his good looks,
and thank you, Rory. Thank you, Rory. Yeah, not my golf.
It's a genuine question.
You know what it is? I think that I don't know, people will resonate more with you simply because they know that you've done that 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I've done it from the age of like 14. You know what I mean? I worked all the way, lost jobs, worked. You know, I constantly played Sunday morning football because I just loved it. But I feel that what happens is that when people hear your story and know that you've worked hard to get there, and, you know, I had a lot of rejection through those years, the adolescence years, the teens, and everything like that. But at no stage did I ever want to stop playing football, and this is why. By the time I got the trial at Palace, after being rejected by Brighton at 19, and all the other clubs before, Orient and Millwall and Charlton and all that sort of stuff, by the time I got to Palace, I just played how I wanted to play. It's the only trial I ever had where I just said, well, if they're going to let me go, they're going to let me go me playing how I want to play. I'm going back to Sunday morning football anyway, so I don't care. So I think that the fans see that, and when I saw Andy Robertson do like that run, he chased them from the left back, he went to the right back, centre half, left back, won the ball. When I saw him do that, that is what you just hardly see that anymore, and the fans love that. I try to do that every now and then, especially when it went quiet at Highbury, which it wasn't too often. When it went quiet, you know what I mean? You chase them, get the crowd going, and that gets you going. Sometimes they just see that in you.
It must be lovely being popular.
It's, you know, only with some. So I only take 50% a nice 50%.
From Frankfurt to number.
Chris Listen and Rory Smith are alongside myself and arrive for the Monday Night Club this evening. A couple of other sports lines for you, both rugby lines. In fact, Paul Gustard has left his job with England to become the new head coach of Harlequins. Eddie Jones has wished him well. It leaves him down to defence coach here out from the World Cup. Gustard will be on the Rugby Union Weekly podcast after 10. And in Rugby League, Sean Wayne is leaving Wigan at the end of the season. He's been linked with the move to Catalan Dragons. So in the next half hour of the Monday Night Club, we'll talk about the importance of man management. We'll talk about managers on the move. There are plenty of them. and this afternoon it also looks like Gary Rowett wants the Stoke job, so we'll talk about that as well. First, Rob Watson, BBC.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet, this is BBC 5 Live.
The BBC investigation has discovered the insulation that burned out of control on the Grenfell Tower never passed the required safety test. Its manufacturer, Celotex, has not responded to Panorama's claim that the company used a more fire-retardant product to get the certificate. Ken Livingstone is resigning from the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn says he's doing the right thing, having been suspended by the party over claims of anti-Semitism. More rail services are being cancelled this evening on the first working day of new timetables in many parts of the country. Operators insist the new schedules will result in improved services. And the biggest observation wheel in Europe is to be built on the banks of the River Tyne in Newcastle. It's already been nicknamed the YI and will be 20 metres taller than the London Eye.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, smart speaker, smartphone and tablet.
On the race now, go to Manchester on the M61 North.
Have you checked that story out? Because a lot of people here don't believe that, I think, at the moment.
It's absolutely true. I can show you the blueprints.
Anyhow, sorry.
It's all right. On the M61 northbound, there's stationary traffic. There's a car fire between Junction 6 for Horwich and Junction 8 for Chorley. We've got big problems in Greater Manchester actually this evening, because also in Northampton the Princess Parkway is closed northbound. That's causing a lot of knock-on problems. And also in Lincolnshire at Scampton, the A15 is closed in both directions. There's very slow traffic because of a serious accident between Heath Lane and Saxby Cliff Road. Rob Watts, my line travel.
The best live sport.
They were flipping the truck all over the place. Crashing.
The Champions League final.
Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Live from Kiev. Full commentary on 5 Live. Saturday nights. Kick-off 7:45. Listen on digital radio or smart speaker. The UEFA Champions League. The final.
On 5 Live.
We got 8x4s right here. We got this about the second, about the third 8x4 we have.
And Ian Wright.
And Chris Sutton and Rory Smith are with us this evening. 85058 at 5 Live Sport. If you want to get in touch with us either on text or on Twitter. We've been to a Champions League final in that first half hour. Of course, you can hear it on Saturday night. Plenty of special programmes across the week here on 5 Live. But as far as the venue is concerned, it's not been a particularly great venue for Liverpool fans to try and get to. It's certainly not been a great stadium for them to get a fair ticket allocation, and that's the same for Real Madrid as well. 16,500 each with a stadium of 63,000. You've written about this.
It's been tough, I think, for everybody. Real Madrid, I think, have handed, the Real Madrid fans have handed back 2,000 tickets. They were allocated 16,000. They had 24,000 applications, which was down on Cardiff last year. And they had over 40,000, which could, I guess, be winning for team. It could also be because of the logistical difficulties of getting to Ukraine. 2,000 have handed those tickets back. Liverpool fans have had problems, with
a lot of folks are
obviously hugely inflated hotel prices. There's lots of difficulty with getting flights and getting charter flights. There's not that many ways into the Ukraine. You can't take a hire car out of the EU, so the most Liverpool fans thinking of hiring cars in Poland, but you're not allowed to take them across the border. There's not really that many airports nearby. I think there's Lviv, Minsk, which are sort of 6-7 hours by train. And the issue isn't that a city like Kiev shouldn't host the Champions League final, which Kiev has every right to host the Champions League final. The issue is that the Champions League final has now become such a massive event that I'm not sure there's many places in Europe that could host it smoothly. So they had problems in Cardiff last year with hotel prices and availability, which led to a lot of people staying in Bristol, which famously is in a different country to Cardiff. And eventually, miraculously, the British train network did something positive and laid on special trains back to London at sort of 3 or 4 in the morning, just to get the fans out of Cardiff. And UEFA have been conscious for some time of the fact that there's basically a dozen cities that could reasonably be expected to host the Champions League final and host it well. And they're not convinced that just rotating between
all I've been doing is just trying to,
because you're kind of relying on those cities continuing to be interested in hosting the final.
That's it. I got some other archive.
I think we can assume that Barcelona
videos that no one has seen.
That's a long time for the biggest stadium in Europe. And one solution, which on a day of an unpleasant Twitter day for me, the one solution that UEFA have discussed is potentially hosting the occasional Champions final outside Europe. Because if you think about New York or Doha or somewhere like that, it's if it's going to cost you £1,500 to get to Kiev, you might as well spend that money going to New York, because UEFA's thinking that if it's going to cost the fans an arm and a leg either way, it removes the need to necessarily have it in Europe if your options in Europe are limited.
Two of the elements of the Molar Club at the moment have differing expressions. One of them is looking quite interested and intrigued by what Rory has said. The other one is looking incredibly sceptical and has a wry smile on his face. I'll leave you to guess at home who you think might be looking sceptical with a wry smile, and that person will speak now.
So you're... What are you laughing at? Because you haven't even heard what I've got to say yet.
Because I'm
turn this down just a little bit so y'all can hear me a little bit. I think I can be heard pretty good. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I can be heard over this truck. But I've been trying to. I've been working on the sounds forever because I wanted to be. I mean, I like to make sure it's good content. That's it. I didn't even get a chance to look at the chat yet. That way, so let's see the chat. Okay, Wayne, what's going on, Wayne? Wayne Wooverson, Truckers and Trains, 2008. How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. ETS style, ETS2 style. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. So I have some other train content that I'm gonna be doing too. Trying to get it. I just purchased another game, Car Simulator. I think Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I got it at a little deal, So it's just so many games, so little time. So I gotta do what I can do. So, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the scenery. Because this is the beauty of this. I mean, this is what I like about this game. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. Look at this. Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. Especially in the triple monitor setup. That's why you see me in the triple monitor setup. Because now you see everything. You see everything. You ain't just like me. I'm trying to stay on the road. Get back inside the truck. But I got the cruise. I'm just cruising up the road. I'm not even have my. And this truck is just. All I'm doing is guiding this truck up the road. That's it. That's it. This boy is nice. This is a nice truck, man. Very nice truck. So I'm just enjoying the scenery, enjoying the fresh air. Just even though it's just trying to enjoy. You see Rope King 776. You see you getting out here, so more likely everybody's trying to get their work done. So and that's what I will be trying to do myself. Trying to keep up with the chat as much as I can. KKG probably got on the game. Hot Bomber, buddy, Hot Bomber's on too. All right, I think it's time we start slowing down. It might be all right. Let's see if I can go around this curve. I'm sure I can. I'm on the speed a little bit. I just hit pop it down a little bit anyway. Let's see if I can. out in about an hour or two. Definitely going to change the title. Alright, we about to get off. We got to be getting off here in a minute. Now, I do have the shifter set up for if I was actually driving the truck. I do have it set up for the Euro, in Euro specs. But I just didn't feel like doing it with the gears. I mean, I just put it in automatic. You know, I got it already drive all night already. So they already aching me already. So, but still gonna get the job done. We are doing good, y'all. Turn my mic up a little bit. Let's go. This is my drop-off point right here. Like that spot to be too, about to back it up. Perfect. There we go, another perfect one. Two. Sorry about that, y'all. I think I didn't even check my meds. Now, I gotta check my meds too. might have to log out of here and then log back in. Let me check this out. I should be good. Yep, I'm already up. Yep, there we go. See, let me check my log book. Yeah, just drop these off. See, I didn't drop off, and I started 3 days ago. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I'm already just dropped this off 49 minutes ago. Dropped this off 19 minutes ago. See, I'm not playing out here. You know, so I might have to go to another city. That's probably what it is. You know, yep, I have to probably go to another city. So it's okay. I'll find another one. I'm not going. Let me see. This will probably be one that's more suffice. Got an 8-hour one. I'm not going back to Frankfurt because then they're gonna get me. Then that's gonna be just a wasted run. So let's see. That's 8 hours right there. Okay, so let's see. I guess I'll go with this one right here. I think. Let's see, I guess I go with the 7-hour one right here. All right. This one's 7 hours, so that's double the time. So I'm gonna have to do double time on this one. I'm sure I can turn here once I stop. My truck don't look like nobody else's truck. You know, unless they part of my team. See somebody coming up on me. Watch. So they don't run into me. Let them go and pass. They ain't got no lights on. They need to turn some lights on. Surprised they ain't been knocked out yet. Didn't look like the lights was on. kick ya. That's the way they gonna do you. They gonna kick ya.
like the best person for the job.
How long they had? They've known. Even when Arsene Wenger was messing around last season, they didn't know if he's going to sign. He's only going to sign for 2 years. They know that he's not going to get it. They could have done everything what they're doing ages ago. So then now they get into this position and they say, right, we know we are going to be getting him. And if we're not getting him, we've already spoken to him. And if people say that Arsenal being caught they're doing it at the right time. We can't be doing it at this stage. It should be done now. We should be getting ready to. This person should be ready to step in. It's not like all of a sudden Unai Emery's come out. Unai Emery. So okay.
I'm probably still posted.
Of course, in this process, there might have been people.
I'm gonna try to put some music.
You obviously know Patrick Vieira better than me. I don't know whether you spoke to him or not. But
I'm not going to tell you.
But there might be people who will go, actually, do you know what? I'm not sure this job is for me at this stage, and have withdrawn themselves from it. I mean, Miguel Delaney from the Independent is tweeting now that actually Arteta's issues came more from him and the extent of his role and backroom staff than actually it did from Arsenal. So there could be people in this process, and Patrick may have been one of them, Patrick Vieira, who went, actually, this isn't...
Well, Arteta didn't pull out of the process, that's for sure. He was confident of getting the job, he was excited about it, and he did not pull out of this process. And I don't know how close Arsenal were to going for him. We don't know. Righty, do you think it was a smoke screen? Do you think they were serious about him? But he certainly didn't.
You mean Arteta?
Yeah, he didn't.
No, I think they were serious about him, because I think that a lot of Arsenal fans, the fan base, and everybody who I speak to, they weren't too keen on it, simply because they're thinking it's the cheaper option, it's the easier option for them. They're not going for this big name what I think Arsenal fans wanted, and that is the vibe I'm getting. And I kind of like had my mind ready for offensively organised team. My mind started to go into that vibe, and now I've got to go Unai Emery.
I wonder if Arsenal were as serious about Arteta as he thought.
Maybe. If they're not, they shouldn't.
And I was told that, I mean, lending itself to Miguel's point, I was told that Arteta wouldn't be keen unless he felt Arsenal were right behind him. And I think as the time dragged on, he wouldn't have been feeling that, because clearly they could have just done the deal very quickly with Arteta if they wanted him.
James, there's absolutely no way Unai Emery was ever the #1 choice at the start of this recruitment process. Does have mixed opinions of Emery's new manager as a follower of Paris Saint-Germain too. He never really proved himself there. He did do great with Sevilla. He certainly knows how to win the Europa League. Nick, in a word, underwhelmed. Connor, I think he did do well at Arsenal. Similar director of football settings to Paris Saint-Germain, I think. Rennie says, I want Wenger back, not Emery. 85058 at 5Live Sport if you want to get in touch. There's David for the moment. Thank you. It's the Monday Night Club with Ian Wright, Chris Sutton, Rory Smith are with us. We'll reflect more on this story that's breaking then, that it looks like Unai Emery is going to be the new Arsenal manager and not Mikel Arteta, as David Ornstein reported some 15 minutes ago now. Plenty more on that. Arsenal fans, get in touch. 85058 at 5Live Sport. We'll put your points of view and your thoughts to Chris and Rory and Ian. But first, coming up to 8:01, here's the latest BBC News.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet, this is BBC 5 Live.
A BBC investigation has found the insulation that burned out of control on Grenfell Tower had not passed the required safety test. Panorama believes a more fire-retardant material was used to gain the certificate. Arnold Tarling is a fire protection expert.
Well, it's fine. This is absolutely mind-blowing. This material is all over the place.
The manufacturer, Celotex, says it can't comment while the police investigation and public inquiry take place. Meanwhile, that inquiry has officially begun. It opened today with a 72-second silence for the 72 victims. The first 2 weeks have been set aside for relatives to pay tribute to the people they lost. Jeremy Corbyn says Ken Livingstone has done the right thing by resigning from the Labour Party. The former London mayor had been suspended over claims of anti-Semitism, and political editor is Laura Koonsberg.
He was due to have his case raised very shortly by the party's governing body. He has said that he was not pushed out, he's jumped rather than wait for the process to continue. But I understand that
disruption, with Northern Rail cancelling 1 in 7 of its services, blaming a shortage of drivers. A British researcher believes science has now identified what causes the most common type of cancer in children. Professor Mel Greaves says acute lymphoblastic leukemia is the result of a mutation picked up in the womb, combined with an immune system not exposed to enough microbes in early life. And Barack and Michelle Obama are to produce films and TV shows for Netflix. It's unclear what sort of content the former US President and First Lady will make, but they've entered into a multi-year contract.
The sport headlines. It looks like Arsenal then are to appoint Unai Emery as their new manager. Mikel Arteta had been a strong favourite to succeed Arsene Wenger, but following a recruitment process, we understand that Emery has emerged as the unanimous choice. Meanwhile, Derby's Gary Rowett has asked for permission to speak to Stoke about their managerial vacancy. Sunderland have been taken over by businessman Stuart Donald. The deal is around £40 million. England defence coach Paul Gustard says he simply couldn't turn down the opportunity to become the next head of rugby at Premiership side Harlequins. You'll hear more from him after 10 o'clock on 5 Live Sport. And Hampshire need 186 to win against Surrey in the One Day Cup. They're currently 41 without loss, and it's on 5 Live Sports Extra.
5 Live Breakfast.
We had a magical moment earlier on, didn't we? There's no official song to cheer the England boys on, and we missed it before we had loads of reaction to this. We had England legend John Barnes deliver this live.
You've got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back.
John, fantastic.
8 o'clock in the morning, live on radio.
5 Live Breakfast. Back tomorrow from 6. This is 5 Live Sport, the Monday Night Club, with Mark Chapman and Ian Wright.
Rory Smith and Chris Sutton with us as well. 85058 at 5 Live Sport. If you are an Arsenal fan, on the news that David Ornstein broke 20 minutes ago that Unai Emery is going to be announced as the next Arsenal manager. Ian has got his head in his hand.
I've just had this thought in my head. It's like they're at the sushi shop, but you know the stuff that's just going past. I'll have that. I'll take that. I'll leave them one. No, I'll take that one now. You know what I mean? It's just what's going on at Arsenal. Where's Unai Emery come from? I can't get it out of my head. You'd have thought that by now they would have known exactly what's going on. Unai Emery is now the favourite.
He's won Europa Leagues with Sevilla. He's won titles at Paris Saint-Germain.
I'm not. You know something? You know what? Good luck to him if he comes in and he gets it. I'll back him. The fact is, you just want people upstairs to be decisive in what they're doing. I think they've had the time. Chappers, this is the problem I've got.
Is this not a board that has been for years seemed to have been bossed around by Arsene Wenger?
Maybe so, Chris, but now they've got a couple of guys in there who are doing the stuff.
Yeah, they are, but then, you know, Wenger essentially went, I think, because of the empty seats in the ground, so they started to make decisions that way. But it is so indecisive. They have put themselves under all sorts of pressure, the biggest pressure that would have ever been under.
Arteta would have been a massive risk, surely.
Well, Arteta would have been, but I mean, who were they looking for? Were they looking for experience? Were they looking for and then they go for Unai Emery as that sort of in between?
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Rory, as much as he might have been a massive risk, the thing is that it's a risk he was willing to take because in his mind, I bet he believes that he could do something. And isn't that the kind of appointment he needs? He needs somebody who can come in with that kind of hunger and ambition to try and do that. This is why I kind of bought into him a bit. I was thinking this is massive. If it was me, gosh, I'd probably be so afraid of what's going on. He's taken. It's like he wanted it, like David said. He wanted it, and it's been taken away.
I just said David's still here. We've only got him for 2 more minutes. Then he has to go. What do you have to go and do? Radio 4 or something? Television. Oh, sorry about this, David. Who eventually do you know had the final say on this decision? Because a few people are pointing out on social media that there have been quite a few people involved in this process, haven't there?
Yeah, we don't know for certain who had the final say. I mean, presumably Stan Kroenke, he's the owner, and his son Josh, who is a director and is playing an increasingly prominent role in the club. But the recruitment process was led by the chief executive Ivan Gazidis in conjunction with Raul Sanllehi, the head of football relations, and Sven Mislintat, the head of recruitment. It was their job to come to a decision, a unanimous decision, and present that decision to the Arsenal board of directors. And essentially, for those directors don't really matter, because it's Stan Kroenke who is the majority shareholder and owner. So I think this is a decision we don't know exactly, but eventually come to by those three aforementioned individuals, and then put to the man who matters most in America. The one thing I would say about the timing on this, a nod to our journalistic colleagues, in the Sunday Express on the, I think it was the 13th, the final day of the season, the back page, Neil Fizzler said, "Gunners go for Emery." That was the back page lead, saying they want PSG coach to replace Wenger. And this morning in the Daily Mail, Samuel Bell and Steve Stammers said that Emre was the leading candidate. So we don't know that this is such a U-turn. We certainly know that Arteta was leading the way, but I wonder if Arsenal had been planning this longer than we know.
Arsenal's official Twitter account 2 minutes ago tweeted out, "We've got a new number one, and it's Petr Cech." As in, they've given him the shirt number 1, having weighed 133 since he joined, hasn't he? I think. So, and then they've put all their different goalkeepers up that have worn number 1, and then a picture of Petr Cech, number 1.
And does that count as banter?
I don't know what. I don't know.
Reached that.
Not on the faces of it, right? And Chris Sutton, it doesn't at the moment. But that would imply that it's imminent as well. I would suggest, given what they're doing.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't really be toying with their fans at the moment.
Well, yeah, and I don't think the board are in any position to sort of have banter after what's happened at Arsenal the last few years. I think, anything but banter.
David, that's quite a good motto for Chris Sutton as a human being. Anything but banter.
David, we'll let you go and do television. Thank you. If you hear anything else, we'll take you back from television and see what we can do. 85058 at 5 Live Sport. I would say at the moment, Chris, that there are lots of Arsenal fans that I just trawl through social media who would appear to be a little bit underwhelmed by all of this. Do you think that's because of the emotional pull that there might have been towards Arteta?
Yeah, I think so. I'm totally with Ian on this, but this is out of left field. I know, heard that some papers have reported it, but there doesn't seem to be any real strategy behind it in the type they were looking for. Were they looking for a defensive type coach, an Allegri, an older type manager, or a young up-and-coming one? And yeah, they've gone sort of middle of the road, but the decision makers, I mean, there hasn't been decision makers at Arsenal for however many years when Arsene Wenger was there, and they made the decision, eventually due to the lack of fans in the ground, and now there's no. What is the thought process? I'd love them to come out and explain how they have come to this decision.
I think why they're strong Arteta, because if we're now hearing it's been a week ago when people have been putting in newspapers about it, and why have they done that? Why have they strung him along? Why don't they just be honest and come out and say this is what we're going for? It just seems like they just get excited. Okay, we're not going for him now because we don't like the way the public sways go. Let's go for him and see what they say. It just seems really desperate.
There is an element you wonder about whether Arsenal lost an early. The idea of him maybe appeal, possibly the same for Vieira and Madrid. The idea of appeals making really bold, sort of brave calls. But then when you sit down and think about this, multi-million business and putting it in someone's hands and taking a job before you maybe back away from it. I think the other thing that's really relevant is that Arsenal fans crave more than anything else, I think, and Ian might be able to contradict on this, is excitement. It's felt stale for so long. But what they want now is some sense of risk, some sense that they don't quite know what they're getting, rather than they might finish fourth and might not, and they might do well in the Europa League, might not. And at Arteta, for all that it could have gone badly wrong, and I did worry if he took it, that it might sort of end his managerial career prematurely if it didn't work out. But it did represent a risk, because there's a lot of people in football who say that Arteta will make an extraordinarily good manager, in the sense that he is the next big thing in waiting. And I think Arsenal fans maybe quite liked that sense of risk, because it could have been great, it could have been bad.
It's not a bigger risk.
It's a risk in terms of if it stays stale, damage could be be harder to win.
Why do you think it could be a bigger risk in hiring someone who has managerial experience against signing someone who doesn't have managerial experience? So a manager who has won trophies in Europe, both European trophies and domestic titles.
Because this is the
why would this be? Right, why is this more of a risk than somebody who hasn't managed and hasn't won it?
Because I think this is what we have all been led to believe has been the thought process in the last week or so, that they're going down the Mikel Arteta route. They've spoken to him. He clearly couldn't have impressed. He clearly couldn't have impressed. So then he's come out of nowhere. Emery.
But he could have impressed. And I know David sort of...
But he couldn't have impressed enough.
But he could have asked for things that Arsenal, with their structure, weren't necessarily willing to go along with. There are journalists on social media this evening saying, and I know David said Arteta wanted it. It wasn't down to that. It wasn't down to it from Arteta's side. But there are journalists saying he might have wanted more control over his backroom staff. He might have wanted more control over the transfers. And therefore, Arsenal may have then thought, well, he isn't going to fit into the structure we are trying to put in place.
So don't you think that's what, if you're a manager and you're coming in and everybody's saying, well, he's a number 2 and now he's coming in as a number 1 on this multi-million-pound business, don't you think he should try and be able to get the people he wants in and around him so as he can have the best possible chance to do the job that he's going to take on? Why would they not give him that opportunity to do that? And what, has Unai Emery come in and said, well, okay, you don't want me to have that, I'll still do it if you want me to. That means almost, it's like you're going for the cheaper option. You're going for the option that's a little less risky, it might not cost us as much. He doesn't want as many people behind there. That's not what Arsenal fans want to hear right now. They want to know that somebody who's been very meticulous, he's obviously been very meticulous, he's seen a lot of meticulous going on with Pep. We're talking about somebody who's probably going to be to the last detail in respect of preparation. So he wants everything right. Isn't that what Arsenal need right now?
But what Arsenal need to do, we need to know who the leader is, who's come out and made this decision, and why they have made the decision.
I think it's
how they have come to this.
I think it's Gazidis. The way all of a sudden, once we found that Arsene Wenger is no longer going to be there, it's Gazidis is the one who's put himself up to answer questions. It's Gazidis. I think it's Gazidis.
85058 and 5 Live Sport. We have opened the phone lines as well, so Arsenal fans 08085 909 693. You're going to be doing a phone in, Rory. 08085 909.
I get to be like Robbie Savage.
Or Ian Wright, obviously.
Yeah.
08085 909 693. Arsenal fans, Arteta or Unai Emery. We want to know your thoughts, please. Arsenal's official Twitter account still going through their squad number changes at the moment. Hector Bellerin will wear 2 and El Neni will wear 4, and they're progressing with this evening, with the news having broken that it looks like Unai Emery will be the new manager of Arsenal. Sean Dyche will listen to me at the Cup final on Saturday. A Premier League manager now, you feel like you are managing 25 individual different companies, because that is what you're dealing with the modern player, with everything that's around the agents that are around them, the managers, the sponsorship deals. You are, to all intents and purposes, managing 25 individual businesses. So when you put it like that, you can understand wanting to plump for experience for the club.
You can, and I think that with the risk of quoting Arsene Wenger, we kind of live in a world now where the unknown is more appealing than the known, and the best example of that is always transfers. So if you have a team looking to sign a striker from the Premier League or the Championship and a striker from Ligue 1 or from Serie A, fans would be more excited by the striker coming in from abroad, despite the fact they will have seen less of him than of the Premier League striker, and that's because the exotic has a sort of certain appeal. And I think I
don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, it's just a theory, Chris. And I think with Emery, what they've done is appoint someone who does know the job better than Arteta, and it seems odd to be saying that it's a bigger risk to be appointing someone with much more management, with someone with management.
But from what I read about you, you're all for younger managers, younger coaches being given that chance.
Am I wrong? I'm not an ideologue, Chris. My views change. I'm not doesn't answer to the point.
I do actually think this is part of the reaction at the moment. Actually, I think it follows on from the fate at the second half of this season of the desire for freshness and I'm not, you know, Unai Emery is fresh as far as the Premier League is concerned, but I do wonder whether, Chris, part of the reaction is because of this desire for young, fresh, new, energetic. It's because and somebody who's worked with Guardiola. That's what Arsenal fans were excited.
It's also because we know what Emery is capable of. We know that he's not particularly attacking coach. We know that he will prioritise the team being sort of organised and well drilled and disciplined.
But they need that.
They do need that, but it's not. That's not that appealing when the alternative is Mikel Arteta, who obviously has an emotional bond to the club. Although I do think his status as Arsenal legend has been a little bit overblown. He's not an Arsenal legend in the sense of.
Right.
I'm not.
I
was trying to think of someone who wasn't righty that might offend him.
There's so many to choose from. Take Dico or Parlo or Thierry or Dennis.
Christopher Rea.
Christopher Rea. You can't do Christopher Rea. You can't do Christopher Rea.
But there was an excitement in the fact that Arteta felt new and different, and that he could be something massive. Whereas we know what we kind of know what Emery's going to bring, and obviously not all of his associations are positive because he was in charge when PSG lost 6-1.
Well, let's bring Julien Laurent in on this then from our EuroLeagues podcast, who has an affiliation with Paris Saint-Germain. That would be fair to say, Julien, wouldn't it?
Yes, he was it. Hello, boys.
You also keep a keen eye on Arsenal, to be fair to you as well. So this is quite good. You may have a foot in both camps here. What's your feeling tonight?
I think it's a very interesting one. I mean, if obviously it turns out that it is Unai Emery that Arsenal
going all the way around the world.
Listen, there were some very good things that PSG did. It was a big leap from Sevilla, I think, to go to Paris with all the expectations. And that the main objective was to win the Champions League. Rory, as I just heard Rory saying, he was in charge when PSG got 6-1. He was also in charge when PSG beat Barcelona, William and Messi 4-0 in Paris. And that was an incredible game. It was an incredible tactical masterpiece from Unai Emery. The way they played against the Barca team, the way they played hard, the intensity they had in the game. They had that against Thursday. The second leg was obviously very disappointing. The longer played the plan that everyone wanted. So there were some very good things there that he did. There was some not so good things there, but I just think he deserved a chance. And he's very, very highly rated in Europe. That's why PSG chose him, after Laurent Blanc 2 years ago, for example.
Bizarrely then, do you think if Arsenal had appointed him from Sevilla, this reaction would be slightly different than if they'd appointed him from Paris Saint-Germain?
Maybe, because I can see why people would say that, hang on, he went to Paris.
All right, 19 hours.
Probably not even a clever figure.
Going all the way to Paris. Man,
big dressing room and big egos and big personalities. And in a way, on certain aspects, he didn't manage to deliver. So I can see maybe
give me nothing else, the
reserve that some Arsenal fans would have. But, it's a different dressing room, it's a different situation. The ownership is not the same as in Paris. It's not the same momentum. You don't have someone like Neymar. You don't have, it's not the same personnel. It's not the same situation either. You don't have the same pressure that, for example, the owners at PSG put on Unai Emery by saying you need to win the Champions League or at least go to the semi-final. Otherwise, we're going to sack you. It's a rebuilding job at Arsenal. It was not a rebuilding job at PSG at all. And so I think it's a very different context that maybe suits Unai Emery far better and far more than the context he had at PSG when he arrived after winning 3 Europa League and people thought, okay, this is the answer. Now we're going to win the Champions League. Now we're going to play some great football. And maybe it was not what PSG needed at the time, but maybe it's more what Arsenal need right now.
Julien, c'est right. Comment ça va, mon
ami? Ça va et toi?
Très bien. What was I going to say? Jules, is he the kind of guy that is going to be able to get the kind of performances that we need out of Ozil on a regular basis? Can he do that? Because I got the impression that I felt like he was afraid of the big names in the PSG dressing room. I felt that he succumbed to them a bit.
Yes, there was. I have to say, especially this season with Neymar, there was a lot of that. And just a couple of weeks ago, he gave that big interview in Spain where he said, listen, the boss is Neymar in this dressing room, and there can only be one boss, and that boss is Neymar. It was not him, and he knew that it was Neymar's team and Neymar's club, and in many ways, Emery never managed to manage Neymar, and that,
So should Arsenal be appointing him then if he can't control the big players?
But Ozil is not Neymar. I just don't think that there's anyone in that Arsenal dressing room that is, you know, as egocentric as Neymar, for example. So
there's no one in the world.
Yeah, maybe you're right, maybe in the world. But so he might be able to deal better with this Arsenal dressing room than he did with PSG, where you had a lot of some clans with, you know, South American players, Argentinian players, and you had Neymar and the Brazilians. So I think he found it difficult to deal with all of that this season. It was not the case like Sevilla, where it was more of a family club, a family environment than what he found in Paris. And maybe this Arsenal dressing room, like the context that we mentioned earlier, maybe suits him a bit more because, you know, he's a good guy. He's a good at man managing. He's great tactically. He has a lot of things going for him. But that's true that with Neymar, you know, and Neymar was the one thing really that he could have managed this season.
And will he have them more organised than they have been?
Oh yeah, the drill, the discipline is something that, you know, he's really keen on. He works them hard. At training, he's got a very good idea of what he wants to do. You know, when he came in, his first game was the French Community Shield against Lyon, and PSG played with amazing intensity like they never did before, even under Carlo Ancelotti or Laurent Blanc. And he looked like, wow, okay, this is his philosophy. That's his style of football. Pressing high, intensity, running a lot, defending a lot, attacking a lot, fullback, bombing forward, etc. And we're like, okay, wow, the guy is there.
Welcome to the channel.
Key players
we are enjoying live stream.
Maybe we should go back to what we know, you know, because we're so used to play sort of tiki-taka football where we take our time, we do a lot of short passes, etc. And Emery had to evolve a bit, had to change a bit his philosophy to, you know, to accommodate
going on 19. I'm doing a 19-hour run now. The other three were 3 hours. Well, 2 were 3 hours, 1 was 7 hours. This was 19 hours.
Because all the players in there were on board with these ideas, and that's where the key is.
Julie, I said that once, come back to you just one more.
I'm already 7 down.
Arsenal fan, 08085999693. Are you happy, disappointed, Khalid?
We'll get this one down.
I'm very happy with the appointment. I think he's going to fit in really, really well. The way we like to play football, we like to play on the ground. His style of management, I think, suits us a lot. He's a very good manager, European pedigree. I think he's won 3 European trophies in a row. Won Overclocked as well in the final, which won't go down too bad either. But I think he ticks all the boxes, mate. I'll be honest with you, I thought he would come in. A lot of people thought it'd be Allegri or the other obvious candidates, but when they lost to PSG, lost to Real Madrid in the Champions League, and it was made clear that he was going to leave at the end of the season.
Wow.
Did you have
to do everything to try and bring him in?
Did you have any emotional pull towards Mikel Arteta, either as a former Arsenal player or, which I think what a lot of, I'm only judging by what I'm looking at on social media, because of his connections with Guardiola and what he might then sprinkle on Arsenal?
Honestly, Mark, no, not at all. I think that he's just inexperienced. We need to bring someone in that's experienced that can hit the ground running. I just feel that he ticks all the boxes.
I ain't touched the truck load. I'm good.
But what are you basing, Khalid? What are you basing on? You're saying that he ticks all the boxes at a team like PSG who's rumping that league. I know he's done really well at Sevilla, but him as a manager in that dressing room, what he's going into, what makes you think that he's going to be able to do that?
Well, because he's proven. He's done it with Seville. He's won 3 European trophies in a row. Okay, PSG, you could say it's a 1-2-team league, if you like, but I'm really basing it on what he's done in Seville. You've got to remember when he was managing Seville, it was one of the best Barcelona teams. You know, you had got Real Madrid in there, and he was winning trophies. And I think he gave all the big teams in that league a run for their money. A good game he played against them, and I think that he just fits perfectly in terms, in respect of how he likes to play football. He likes to play football the Arsenal way, so I think he can pick up from Wenger. He's more active on the touchline. I think he'll get in a few of them players' heads, the Granit Xhakas of this world. He'll really push them to get them. I don't think he'll take any nonsense from anyone. You know, I think he'll really will push them.
I'm trying to stay, keep it in the lane, y'all. Working
says Arsenal fans must be positive. Emery will already be under immense pressure due to Wenger's legacy, so fan pressure will only make things worse. Theo, he beat, as Khalid said to us there, beat Klopp in a European final not long ago. At worst, a solid choice. Also, if memory serves me correct, I was at that game. That was a European final where they were a goal down at half-time. When they're not a goal down, they were, yeah. And he changed his tactics in the second half and blitzed Liverpool in the second half.
Liverpool had to take a little bit of responsibility for what happened in that game, but yes, he did extremely well at Sevilla. They became a force in Spain, although the only issue I'd take with what Kelly said is that he did win trophies while Barca, Real and Atletico were there, but not against. He won the trophies they weren't going for, they were on the Champions League. He's had a mixed career, I mean, that's the thing. So if you speak to Spartak Moscow fans about him, he was a disaster. If you speak to Valencia fans, they kind of realised what they had when he left, because he established Valencia as kind of the other force in Spain, and then came under pressure for not winning the league, but then that was Valencia and Barca and Real Madrid were still there. So he is a bit of a mixed bag, but surely the question with Arsenal is he has been brought in as a coach, not as a manager. There is a rebuilding job that needs to be done. Do Arsenal trust that the people who are doing that job, because that's not Unai Emery, are the right people to do it?
Well, this is what I think. You know, it's saying that Arsenal fans have to be positive. Arsenal fans will be positive. It's just that all of a sudden they've now got to deal with Unai Emery, and I think that once they deal with that, then if he's the guy, they'll get behind him. I don't think
they'll be expecting an instant impact though with this appointment, righty.
I think that it's going to be interesting. We heard Khalid mention that he will get the players going. I think he's going to have to, especially if anything's to be believed, and we're supposedly only having a £50 million to spend, which I simply can't believe. You know, then he is going to have to get the tune out of those players who we've seen not really playing with real gusto and real verve and real intensity.
How many of the back line would you keep?
Well, to be honest, I think that the problem that Koscielny's had with his Achilles that might have been it now for him. It's finally gone. I feel that someone like Mustafi, somebody that I would not be keen on. I would obviously Mavropanos has come in and he looks very promising. I know he's only a couple of games towards the end there, even Chambers. I'd love to see Chambers under a coach.
But this is where £50 million isn't enough.
It's not going to buy anyone.
It isn't enough.
It's not going to buy. It's not going to buy. You need to buy a couple. Arsenal still need a few players. We've got offensive players in abundance. That's not the problem. It's the defensive from the goalkeeper, defensive pairing, and the central midfield holding player.
Jimmy the King says it's one day Ramos Mark II. Paul, I'm fairly sure the Arsenal board can't win tonight, but Paul Luscombe, he won the Europa League 3 times, so we know where the owner and the board have set their sights. Harry, we might actually win the Europa League with him. Julien, one final thing to you. Do you think, I keep talking about this new structure at Arsenal, you know, they've got heads of football and new head of scouting and all of this at the club. Do you think from how he operated, particularly at Sevilla, but also at Paris Saint-Germain, that he fits into their structure?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's not forget that him and Monchi, the sporting director at Sevilla, did an amazing job. Monchi was dealing with transfers, bringing players, often young players and proven players, and that's what I wanted to say as well when the boys were talking. Unai Emery is a coach. He will improve players. He doesn't need to have superstars that cost 70 or 100 million euros. His job, and the best job he did at Sevilla, was to bring those players that Monchi was finding in lower leagues in France, in obscure leagues in Europe, bringing them to Sevilla. Emery would improve them, would make them play as a team.
Sevilla was a development club.
Yeah, but there's a rebuilding job to do at Arsenal. Like we said, the back four has to be rebuilt.
How much time is he going to get, though?
That's the thing. Yeah, but it depends what you want then. You know, if you want, you know, if you realise there's a rebuilding job to do, that you need someone who would work on the training pitch to improve the players you have, because there might not be much money to buy another 10 or 15 players, which is the case this summer, then he's the right guy for that, because that's what he's going to do. But that's why I think he's going to work well with that missing inside. He's going to find Mavropanos, for example. And Mavropanos is going to blossom under Unai Emery. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
And and this is a final question which you might know nothing about, and it could send Ian over the edge, but RMC Sport in France are reporting that Patrick Vieira is edging closer and closer to taking charge of Nice.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I mean, we've known that for a couple of days now.
But they're now going that you know, it's very, very close.
Yeah, he was very, very close. Lucien Favre is going to push Dortmund, leaving Nice, and Vieira was the #1 target, and I think he's really keen on going there as well. It's a very nice project too, but you know, that's a perfect platform, I think, for Patrick to then get one day the Arsenal job.
And Julien, thank you very much. I've lost the tweet now that says a manager who beats Barcelona 4-0 and yet still goes out of the Champions League sounds very arse.
Very true, yeah. That's harsh.
I mean, it is harsh, but I wonder, if you actually look at Unai Emery's career in the last 5-6 years, so Sevilla and Paris Saint-Germain, he appears to be being judged negatively on the fact that of that game against Barcelona and going out to Real Madrid this season. Would that be fair on the evidence that of his career in the last 5 years?
Yeah, because there is an expectation in this country that PSG will win the league easily in France, and there's that expectation in France as well, although I suspect that doing that is easier said than done, even in Ligue 1, as we saw under Monaco, although of course he didn't win the league last season, which with PSG's budget is a failure. But certainly in England, what people will have seen of him most is probably the Europa League final against Liverpool, and then the 2 defeats in the Champions League knockout stages. So I guess it's understandable that's what comes to mind first. But the thing with Emery is, he as Jules has said, he has a kind of career that is impressive in certain lights, and then bits of his career that are not impressive in any light. And it's difficult to say unanimously that he is a wonderful appointment in the same way as Guardiola's only ever known success. So you got excited by Guardiola. Emery's is a bit more checkered than that, and I think that's probably why there's a reasonable amount of kind of caution about the appointment.
MZ says Arsenal board are playing games with Arsenal fans. Arteta left the interview laughing when they told him he's only got 50 million transfer budget. Emery have failed with unlimited money, and Neymar. Arsenal deserve less.
There is one suggestion that part of the problem with Arteta was that he wanted a certain amount of control over transfers in his backroom staff, and if Arsenal have pulled out because of that, then that I would say is quite worrying, because the manager should in that system, the manager still has to have a bit of say on who you sign. You can't just present a manager with loads of players.
85058 at 5 Live Sport 08085 909 693. The Monday Night Club with myself and Ian Wright, Chris Sutton and Rory Smith are here too as we digest the news. It looks like Arsenal are going to appoint Unai Emery as their new manager. 8:34. Here's Robbie.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet, this is BBC 5 Live.
A BBC investigation has discovered the insulation that burned out of control on Grenfell Tower had never passed the required safety test. Panorama understands the manufacturer used a more fire-retardant product to gain the safety certificate. Celotex has not responded to the allegation. Ken Livingstone is resigning from the Labour Party, having previously been suspended over allegations of anti-Semitism. Jeremy Corbyn says it's a sad moment, but the right thing to do. A man's been stabbed to death in Islington in London. Police report Upper Street at around 6:30 this evening. Nobody's been arrested and roads in the area remain closed. And the Speaker of the House of Commons is admitted uttering the word stupid during the debate. John Bercow was accused of directing the comments towards the Commons leader, Priya Ledson.
Away from the Arsenal Unai Emery story, Gary Rowett has asked for permission from Derby to talk to Stoke about their managerial vacancy. Sunderland have been taken over by the businessman Stuart Donald. The England defence coach Paul Gustard said he simply couldn't turn down the opportunity to be the head of rugby at Harlequins. More from him on Rugby Union Weekly from 10. And Hampshire Surrey is on Sports Extra at the moment in the One Day Cup. Hampshire currently 117 for 2.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, smart speaker, smartphone and tablet.
On the roads in Cardiff on the M4 westbound, the main carriageway has just been closed at junction 33. That's to allow for traffic management purposes, to restrict traffic heading towards the closure between junction 34 and 35. In Greater Manchester on the M61 northbound, there's queuing traffic and an entry slip road closure at junction 6 for Horwich, but that's causing congestion on the M61 as far as junction 5. And in South Yorkshire, the A1 A1M in both directions. There's very slow traffic because of an earlier police incident between junction 36 for Walmsworth Road and 37 for Mar. All the lanes are back open though. Rob Watts, 5 Live Travel.
The best live sport.
Coming soon.
The FIFA World Cup in Russia.
Oh my word! It's completely beautiful! History will be made. This is your World Cup station. This is 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sport, the Monday Night Club with Mark Chapman and Ian Wright.
Abdallah says, according to what's available in the market, Unai Emery is a better option than Arteta since the club ruled out the best managers to succeed Wenger. I doubt if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be delighted. It's a shrewd appointment. One Calderson, why not go for something new and fresh, having Arteta? And if the rumours were true, Henry is his assistant. It's the kind of excitement our club needs. 85058 at 5 Live Sport. Rory Smith and Chris Sutton are with us, as is our football correspondent John Murray. Ivan says, total bottle job by Gazidis after Arteta being his favourite. You now lose the connection between the club and fans, with Arteta being former captain. Would have been good to see Arteta employ his take on Guardiola's positional play at Arsenal. There's a mixed reaction, John.
Well, you know, my feeling on it, because we spoke about it when Arsene Wenger lost the job, or the decision was made to replace Arsene Wenger, and my feeling was, and this was very much born out of the experience that we have from seeing what happened when Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, I felt that Arsenal had to go for as surefire a fit as it was possible to do. I just feel that was the best avenue to go down, and I'm not sure that Unai Emery fits into that. I think he fits into it more, personally, than Mikel Arteta does, because he has a good reputation, Unai Emery, and I'm thinking back to, you know, I've covered his matches when he's been at Paris Saint-Germain, and remember they lost out to Monaco last season for the league title, so he didn't even win the league title last season with all of the riches at his disposal, but of course Monaco were exceptional last season. This season he's won the lot, you know, all of the domestic trophies. He hasn't proved himself in the Champions League, but he's certainly proved himself in the Europa League. And again, I remember having dealings with him around the Europa League final in Basel when they beat Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. And when they won that, Sevilla, they won it 3 years in a row. And I remember him very well talking about how he, everyone at Sevilla, the Sevilla fans, felt that the Europa League, he used the phrase, the Europa League is like our second wife, because they were so successful in that competition. So you would like to think that he's now a better coach because of the experience that he has at Paris Saint-Germain than he was when he left Sevilla.
Andy, an experienced trophy-winning manager versus ex-player with no managerial experience. If he was deemed good enough for mega-rich Paris Saint-Germain, then he may do a decent job for a club that picked up 3 points away in 2018.